We welcome to the show Rob Wiethoff, of course, John Marston. How's it going?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you, man?
Yeah, very good. We're looking forward to our Red Dead 2 special. So, how did you first get involved in Red Dead Redemption? Of course, you was in the original game. Tell us about that.
Oh, wow. Well, so Rockstar Games, and probably, I don't know about other video games, honestly, because I don't know that I've ever auditioned for any other video games. But Rockstar Games, I know, is very secretive. And when I auditioned for it, I didn't even know that I was auditioning for a video game, let alone a video game for Rockstar Games or any. I had no idea. I guess saying that, recognizing that, it's possible I've auditioned for other video games and just didn't book the role. I didn't know what it was that I was auditioning for anything until I had booked the role, gone to, they had rehearsals for Red Dead Redemption. I went and sat down and met everybody, and the actors that were there, we were all kind of separate from the people from Rockstar that were there, and kind of looking at each other like, what in the world is this? And then finally they walked in with our non-disclosure agreements. Once we signed those, then we were made fully aware of everything that was going on. But until then, had no idea. So it was a very pleasant surprise, to say the least.
Yeah, and of course, in the first game, it has one of the most shocking endings in video game history, doesn't it?
Yeah, it kind of does. Yeah, it was. The crazy thing about that whole process, for me, in my experience, everything that I've done in video games is, of course, you have a script, and oh my goodness, I don't know for sure what the script would look like if everybody got the entire script. I think it's like if you stack the pages on top of each other, it's like 6 feet tall or something crazy like that. So they give you the script in little sections, only what you need for the next shoot, really. Um, but those sections that they give you are not in order. So we did John's uh, demise. We did that scene early on in the shooting. I mean, maybe like the third of, I don't know how many shoots we did, if we did 10 or 15 or whatever. We did it very early on, and I didn't fully understand what it meant. I didn't fully understand anything until almost the end of production, where I could look back, piece everything together, and be like, okay, that, and now it all makes perfect sense. But yeah, it was really a, such a cool experience. And what I learned early on, because I had so little information, is that I just really needed to trust our director, Rod Edge, who has directed several titles for Rockstar Games and definitely everything that I've worked on. Um, and, talking to the guy, getting to know him, and recognizing how good he is at what he does, it didn't take me long to fully trust him. And thank God that was the situation, because that's the only choice I had. But
Mm.
he made it real easy. He's really, really good at what he does.
I know lots
Everybody
of
knows.
gamers played it over and over again because they thought there might be a way to save John, but unfortunately, that didn't happen.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard that so many times. People thought I must have done something wrong, and people would play the whole entire game again, make different decisions, thinking maybe I just did something early on. And it's one of those things where it's. I think it is so impactful because you have so many choices. It's an open world. There is no time limit. You do have to follow the story, right, to get to that point. Get certain things done before you see all that. But you have so much freedom. And I played the role of John Marston, but everybody playing that game is John Marston. Everyone is. They control John. They make choices for John. They are John. So when that happens, oh my goodness. And it's shocking. I mean, it's kind of like very unexpected, and it's completely overwhelming for people, I think.
Was you surprised all those years later when you got the call or you got the email saying we're going to do another one?
Yeah, I mean, I was, and I wasn't. The truth is, for me, so we did Red Dead Redemption. We wrapped on that, and then I moved from Los Angeles to Indiana because I thought that's it. I'm done with that. That was so cool for me. I finally got to have the experience of being a working actor instead of just someone who maybe booked a commercial or maybe booked something where I'd work a day or a couple days, whatever. I had the experience of working and knowing I was going to have more work for a prolonged period of time. And being an actor, if you're being honest about it, you know that may never happen. I was lucky enough that it happened for me. And when I recognized, okay, I've had that experience, that kind of for me was all right, you did it now. And also at the same time, I was my now wife and I were planning on getting married, and our future plans didn't really involve me, trying to be an actor anymore. And I was fine with it. I mean, everything shifted. Moved back to Indiana, and I got a call to do Undead Nightmare, which was completely unexpected. Uh, and so what I learned during Undead Nightmare is that they brought at least one, maybe a couple more than one. I don't know, but one for sure, guy that they had worked for on one of the previous GTA games. And I've told this story so many times, I should just get this guy's name and have it locked in my head because I keep talking about this. I don't know what I don't remember who it was. And I'm so sorry. But they brought him back. He played a character that was completely different than the one that he played previously. And they just brought him back to have some fun, let him get back in the mocap, suit and work with them again. And when they basically, I'm telling you this because when they called me for Red Dead Redemption 2, I assumed that's what they were talking about because I don't know if I got an email first or a phone call, but I remember it being we just want to know if you're interested in doing some more work. And that was about all the information I had,
Hmm.
which of course was all I needed. Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, I will do that anytime you want. Absolutely. But I assumed it was for some other project. It wasn't until months down the road until I recognized, oh my goodness, this is what this is. And of course, my goodness, yes. And I would do it 1,000 out of 1,000 times. It's such a cool experience. And I don't know. I know how fortunate I am. I'm not sure that there's anyone actually else from Rockstar that has been able to be a playable character in more than one title. It's the same series,
Hmm.
but I am so fortunate, man. And I'm trying all the time, and I hope I do a good job of it, of being very, very appreciative of these opportunities I was given because heck on, they were so cool. And it's just amazing. What a cool to work with Rockstar and have that experience. And it's not just that you're getting to play a character in a video game, which I think is probably fun for most people, right? You get to play this, in my case, really tough, cool cowboy, right? Um, and I loved every second of that, but also I was surrounded by uh, other very talented and very devoted actors, and that was awesome and a very cool learning experience for me. But also Rockstar. I mean, of course, their name speaks for themselves, but to be with these people in a working environment day after day after day and see how that looks, it was fascinating and overwhelming, really, in the most positive ways. These people are really cool. They're not only really cool to the cast, but they're really cool to each other. And they're really, really good at what they do. And it's just a really cool environment that you almost have to see it and experience it to fully understand it. But I think that that is something I don't know that I'll ever see again in my life, and I'm so fortunate that I was able to experience it
Yeah.
the amount of time that I was. Oh my goodness.
And many people assumed John Marston would be the main character in Red Dead Redemption 2. Was you surprised that he wasn't? Obviously, it's Arthur Morgan in 2.
Well, I mean, I guess because of the phone calls that I had before, when they did start explaining it to me, they said, this is another Red Dead Redemption. It's going to be a prequel. And in that moment, I thought, oh, cool. Yeah, let's do it again. And then they did say, you're not the playable character, but you're still going to play John. And I said, awesome. Yeah, still love it.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I was made aware
quite
before I
early.
ever. Yeah,
But you are playable near the end of the game, aren't you? I think it's the epilogue, isn't it?
yeah, that's right.
That's a great part of the game as well.
Well, thank you.
It's great the way you see how everything happened before the first game, isn't it? So you see them going to Beecher's Hope, and I love that scene where they build the house and that song. Fantastic, isn't it?
Oh my goodness, I had so much fun doing that. So I do, and I have since high school. I've always done construction work, and it was pretty awesome to be able to. And during all of Red Dead Redemption 2, I would typically go to New York for 3 weeks at a time, and we do a 3 week thing, and then I'd come home for 2 weeks, and then sometimes I'd go right back for 3 weeks. But when I was home, I would go to my regular job, and which was construction. So when we were doing the house building stuff, I thought, this is what I do. I know how to do this. And there were certain things that they had to do in specific ways just to make it so that you could do it, right?
Yeah.
And ways for the player to be able to control it. But I loved every bit of it. In fact, we did a lot more of the house building all of the building stuff than what you see in the game. But of course, there are people who test the game as it's in production and say, this is great, we love this, or this doesn't seem to, we don't love this. And they said, we love building the house and the barn and the silo and all that stuff, but we don't love it that much. So
But for that one part of the game, it was great, I thought, And as I mentioned, the song as well, it was perfect, really.
oh yeah, I love it too, love it.
Climb up a ladder with a hammer and a nail, now nail it. Well, we worked so hard to build a little house together. In the snow, the rain, or the ice cold wind, whenever. No matter any weather, we're together. And I think that's everything.
And what was the process like of making Red Dead? So was there differences between the first one and the second one?
There were, I mean, as far as the technology goes, and I shouldn't really speak too much on this because I don't understand. Of course, I don't understand how it works, but you had this, I had the same type of gear on, right? Like I remember in Red Dead Redemption, there were battery packs that you had to, power up you had a helmet that held a camera and a light in front of your face, and then you had a microphone that was like held somehow to the front of your, kind of just out of your eyesight, and all that stuff had to be powered. And in Red Dead Redemption, it was, I had like a cord that I was dragging around everywhere, right? Like a really long extension cord, right? So in Red Dead 2, they had found a way to make it so it was all
Wireless,
just
yeah.
wireless. Yeah. So that was one major difference, which may not sound like much, but when you're moving around and interacting with things and climbing things, whatever, yeah, it did become something you had to think about. Um, of course, it was an upgrade. It made it easier for Red Dead 2. And the other major difference is in Red Dead Redemption, to start a cutscene, there's like a big glowing X, right? You walk into that, playing the game, and then a scene starts. there isn't that, I don't think, in Red Dead 2. Um, at least not exactly the same. I know that there were a lot of things that we shot in Red Dead Redemption 2 that some people are just never going to see. They're just never going to see it, whether it's a conversation that was happening in one of the camps. And if you want to walk over there, and they'll even turn and look at you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you don't walk over there and check them out, see what they're talking about, you don't hear that. But that was work that we did just in case the player wanted to walk over and really, soak everything in. It was there. That wasn't what you see in Red Dead Redemption. You see everything that we did, unless you don't do all of the side missions or the whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that was different, and that took a lot more time too, because you had to basically, if you're having a scene, if you and I are sitting, just talking, right? Let's just say we're at a campfire right now, just talking about the same stuff we're talking about right now, and the player is walking in, they can come from every angle, right? So if we're talking and then we want to acknowledge Arthur, we got to do it this way, and then we got to do it this way, then we got to do it this way, then you know what I mean, we got to do it that, and so all of that, they took the time to do all of that. So and they know too that some people, not everybody, but some people will do whatever they can to just find a way to break the game, right? And then show
nitpick,
it, right?
we call it. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So there was always, can we do that? Is there a way to, so it just, and it really blows my mind. The whole time they're doing this, they're using new technology, right? Because they want to use the most up-to-date thing to get the best out of everything that they can, but they don't really understand what the threshold of that technology is until they find something that somehow doesn't work. And then they gotta, okay, well, we can try it this way. So I don't know that to me, when technology is getting better and better, faster and faster, and then knowing that you're going to start a project that you're going to probably, I don't know if you have to, but probably stay with the same technology you started with. My goodness, how do you know like what you're capable of doing? Rockstar finds out. They find out. So,
and of course, it's all acted out, isn't it? Not everybody knows that. Some people just think you just do the voice, but everything's acted out, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. In fact, to the point of they have stunt men, stunt women, stunt people in there doing stuff. And of course especially Red Dead Redemption, that was 20 years ago that I was working on that almost, and I thought, no, I don't need a stunt man. I'll do my own stunt, until I saw what those guys did. I thought, yeah, you do that. You should probably do that. And yeah, it's very real. And we're all walking around, interacting with each other. It's different, because everybody's standing there in a spandex suit with the little markers where your joints are and everything. And we're trying to act like tough cowboys. We looked ridiculous, but you get used to it. And honestly, it's probably easier when you really think about it than if we were just sitting in a sound booth because we did some of that, traveling on horseback, conversations that you hear while you're going from one place to another. We did some of that stuff in a sound booth because you could, and it didn't make any difference. It was easier, and they could get more done more quickly if they could just have us go into a sound booth and go for it.
Yeah.
But if you're the first person to go, right? If there's nothing recorded, you walk into the sound booth and you've got a scene that you've got to do, you kind of dictate how that's going to go, right? You say your line, and then, I don't know, if you're riding with Micah Bell, you can imagine how he's going to respond, and then you respond to that, kind of with a tone that basically, if you go second, you got somebody else telling you the tone, then it's easier. But anyway, but I think voice acting in a sound booth, in my opinion, would be way harder than doing performance capture. to make it right and good. You know what I mean? If you're,
Because you have to have a natural conversation, I suppose.
yeah, I mean, yeah, people want to believe that they're in this world, and if it sounds funny for whatever reason, then that is a distraction. So I think it's easier. And yes, we did. The majority of the work is performance capture, and thank God, because otherwise, I would hope to never be first.
And what's your favorite scene as John Marston in the games?
It's so hard to pick favorites because I enjoyed every second of it. I truly did. But I mean, it depends, I guess, what you're talking about. John is not very nice, right? He's not very. He's a grumpy person. I guess I would be too if I was him, right? But I really enjoyed when he did soften up, and when what I think about John is that he was, doing the best he could with the information that he had, which was not much, right? And he knew what was taught to him by people who took care of him. So he was safe. He felt a feeling of belonging and comfort and stability, support, maybe, I don't know, from the Vanderlyn gang, who are a bunch of outlaws, right? So he probably just thought like, this is what I do. This is who I'm with. This is what I do. And he was really tough because of it. But I think that John, once he recognized in his own time, obviously he didn't do it right away, but what really was important to him, which was, I think, ultimately to be a father and a husband and do that, there was nothing that was going to stop him from doing that. And so when he was sweet with Abigail, and even though they were married, he took the time to go get a ring and propose, go on a nice date and propose. And I mean, even Abigail the whole time was like, "Who are you?"
Yeah, that is a funny scene. Yeah, she's
But
like, "You silly man" or something.
yeah, like
Yeah.
we are married, and he's like, "No, this means something to me. This means something," And I think that I enjoyed that a lot.
You Will you marry me?
Get up. I am married to you.
No, I mean proper, in front of God.
You serious?
I got this ring. I've had it for a long time. Take it.
You serious?
It would make me very happy if you would...
We've lived a lot of lives.
Let's just live this one from now on. You and me, Jack, a family, by law.
John, I didn't know it mattered to you.
It didn't. But now it does. If you think this is dumb, I'm sorry.
Shut up, you silly man, and kiss me.
There's a scene later on in the epilogue where you could grab for a beer and you don't take it, and I always think that's kind of a him moving on sort of thing. Because obviously before, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He might have grown up a little bit or just had different priorities, I mean, I think that is another thing about John. And listen, hopefully we don't go out and rob banks and trains and hold people ransom for money and all the things, what John says. But I think that we do all kind of relate, depending on when you play the game, right? As we grow up, we go through different stages and different periods of our lives, and you do kind of shift from one thing to another, and your priorities change. And I think a lot of people really can relate to that too. Again, not exactly the same circumstances, but I think that that's something that's really comforting and relatable
Yeah.
for most people.
And I really like the scene at near the end of the game where Arthur passes his hat onto John. I thought that's a really nice scene.
That was such an amazing thing. So they do performance capture. They get everything that they can get, right? And then once they recognize, okay, I think we've got it, then they go back, they recognize there are certain things that they have to fix that they can't fix like through animation, or what they just have to have us come back. They call it a glue shoot, where you do simple things. Sometimes, like one time I remember doing a scene again because I pronounced the guy's name wrong, and I forget what character it even was, but it was either they like completely changed the name of this character, or I just said it wrong. And so they had me fix it, like walk up and say, so and so, I'm here for you, whatever. Like simple things like that. But so at the end of getting everything, the glue all where it needed to be, that's when we did that scene with Arthur and John. And they, oh my goodness, they brought people. I guess what you need to understand is that on the stage where you work, there are probably 15, I don't know how many people there are from Rockstar, but some producers and, you got the sound guy and the people that are there just to make sure your suit looks right and is working right, and all these different things that go along with this technology. But you have a couple of animators, you got the director, of course, you've got people on the set that are there all the time, right? But then there are also other people in the building that work for Rockstar. I don't know if there are 50 of them, if there are 30, I don't know if there's 100 of them, I don't know. But you see them. You just don't ever see them on the stage area, on the set, kind of the volume is what they actually call it, because they're up in their offices doing whatever they do, right? Well, so for that scene, it was the very last thing that they captured, as far as I know, and they let everybody that was in the building who had been working for as long as they had been. And for me at that time, it was 4 years or whatever it was. We weren't done. We did other stuff after this, but as far as performance capture goes, they let everybody come down and be on the stage, because the cameras, the way they work, they can't see anything unless it has that reflective tape on it, which is what those markers have on them. Again, I don't know how to fully explain it, but there were so many people on that, in that set. And we did, I don't know how many takes we did, 3, 4, whatever it was. But as soon as the director saw the one he liked, he said, cut, take that. The entire room, it's like it exploded with this amazing, people were crying. I was crying. I mean, the director was crying. People were crying, hugging each other, because it was such a, like, they hadn't gotten to the top of the mountain yet, but they could see the top at that point, and that part of the production was complete, and so they could finally catch, take a second, catch their breath, and get motivated to move on from there. But it was also at that point, it was so far into the production, I knew exactly what it meant. Roger knew exactly what it meant. Everybody knew, because again, when you only get sections of the script, it's hard to know exactly what's going on until the end. But we were there. We knew. Everybody in the room knew. And I will never, ever forget that. And I love this scene too. But I mean, in real life, in real life for me, in that moment, that was one of the most profound. Oh my goodness, that was true. Like, people truthfully, nobody faked it. There was no faking it. It was that big of a deal, and it was awesome. And I was so happy to be able to be part of that.
We ain't both gonna make it. Go. Now, I'll hold them off. It would mean a lot to me. Please. There ain't no more time for talk. Go.
Arthur.
Go to your family.
Arthur!
Get the hell out of here and be a goddamn man.
You're my brother.
I know.
love your shrine there. That's great.
Oh, the stuff behind me here? Yeah. It's amazing, isn't it? I tell you what, that's one of the coolest things too. This community, the Red Dead Redemption community of people they're so cool. And my goodness, they're so impressive. I think, with their creativity and they share it with me. And of course, if they share it with me, I want to share it with everyone. I want everybody to see how cool it is. And the community, they're supportive to us, of course, but I think what's really cool is that they're all really supportive to each other too, truthfully. And so, I mean, wow, the whole thing is amazing.
Yeah. And when you do conventions or when you do the events that you do, is there a line that people like you to say from the games? Is there a certain line?
So I mean, I guess one that I think probably everybody expects right now is you eat babies. And so I do shout that out, I guess at least once or twice a weekend, it seems like, wherever I am. But yeah, I think when people get a signature, right, if they want one of the prints that are on the table, I always ask them, what's your favorite quote? Which of course puts them on the spot, and everybody usually their mind goes blank, and I think, oh goodness, well, let me try and help you. But my goodness, there are so many good one-liners that were written into that game. It's insane. And I don't know. If somebody asked me my favorite, I don't know. It's another one of those things where if you said one, I'd be like, yeah, that's it. That's my favorite. And then somebody else, that's my favorite. That's but
we'll take the first one you said.
Yeah, right on. Yeah. All right.
What did you think of the first game then?
I loved it. And so the thing is, everybody always asks me, isn't it weird to hear your own voice? And yes, it is. But I think, I recognize when I hear it in that capacity, I was playing a role, right? So I was saying lines out loud that I didn't write. I was trying to act out scenes that I was doing the best that I could with what I was being asked to do. So it's weird to hear my own voice, but these weren't my own thoughts. I was playing a character, right? And also it's been, I think the game turns 16 years old next month. So I've heard people sharing, of course, the way social media works right now. I hear my voice every single day with things that people share with me. And I think, okay, yeah, I mean, I remember saying that, whatever, but it's kind of gotten different. I mean, it's different now. I mean, no, of course I don't love it. And the other thing, like, I didn't have to change my voice to play the role. I mean, I had to be more grumpy than I typically am, but even now, like if I record an outgoing voicemail, like hey, this is Rob, leave a message. If I listen to that back, I think, God, no. I mean, still, yeah, but that's me.
Yeah.
And it's different somehow. It is. I don't know how to explain it. But
it is interesting because some of the actors sound exactly like the characters, which is an interesting dynamic, really.
Yeah, it is. And so there's that aspect of it, but I think that what I recognize, and something that I didn't know before because I hadn't had the experience, is that I knew this because it just makes sense when you hear it. But when I played the game, even knowing what I know, right? And also like I remember what that looked like in real life. I remember what that character actually looks like in real life. I know what he sounds like when he's not playing that role. That kind of part of it was like a little bit, I mean, I guess only so many people get to have that perspective on it. But what I recognized and what I can really, really fully appreciate now is that when I meet people and they say, that's the only game that ever made me cry, or that game, whatever. What I recognize now is it's the experience that they had of being John Marston their self, not because of I fully recognize that now. I mean, before I always kind of thought like, yeah, right on, thank you, man. That's so cool. I'm glad you feel that way.
But now you
It's
get
true.
it. Yeah.
Now I get it. I get it. I mean, I don't know because I haven't played a lot of other games. When I was a kid, I was a gamer, and then I just got away from it. And Red Dead Redemption really is the only game that I've interacted with for 30 years, probably. Right. So I would say that if I played other games, I would be like, all right, I am whatever. I am this character. That's not Troy Baker. That's me. You know what I mean? Of
Yeah.
course I would. I'm playing the game. I get control of it. Uh, but I guess now I have that full understanding, and I'm able to interact with it better than I ever have before. My goodness, and I appreciate it now
Yeah.
way more because
For me, it's the story of both games that keeps you coming back to play it again. For me,
well, yeah, I think that a lot of people, it can be that for sure, and only that. I think that what I have heard from so many people is that, and I don't know that anybody ever anticipated this, but this is a game. The story, the whole everything about it has brought families together in a way that is just fascinating. I mean, not only would it give the opportunity for a son and his daughter, or his son, or I'm sorry, a father and his daughter, or a son and his mom, or however you may look at this, where people don't just sit down and have something that they're equally passionate about, that they can spend that much time on and share the experience together. It gave that to people. And that it was so beautiful too. It wasn't just that it was well written, it was so well designed and expressed. I don't know, it was something that made a lot of people recognize this is more than the average video game.
yeah.
And so
You really get immersed in the world, don't you? Even if you're just out there, you're just playing cards, or you're going to a saloon, or whatever you're doing, you're riding your horse. You do
yeah,
really feel like you're there.
no doubt about it. Yeah, and I'm really excited to get started on Red Dead Redemption 2, so I can feel that. And Red Dead Redemption, I know it's old. It still apparently really holds up
Yeah,
graphics wise.
yeah, it
What
does. Yeah.
I've been told. Yeah.
Um,
So
I mean, with two, obviously, because the technology moved on and there's a lot more open world and things to do. But obviously, that's because of the time period, in between.
yeah.
But both fabulous games, yeah. And it's been great to speak to you, Rob. Thanks a lot for
Mike,
joining us.
thank you so much for having me. This is amazing. I'm so glad to be part of it. I really appreciate you reaching out. Thank you.